All right, welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Well, we had a brief period of sunshine. The sun finally came out for the first time in about, what, 2 days
Yeah,
after a full 48 hours of torrential downpour, and now it looks like it's going to rain again. So,
yeah. I think one of our buddies I just texted with said it started raining out there, and it's been
great.
madness. Not only is it in these older homes' basement, but I had a little in my car.
Ah, dude,
I-
it's crazy. I might have to Uber to work again because that whole half mile because my windshield wipers don't work and I haven't had a chance to get this shit taken care of.
It seems like the story of our country. My dryer knob, timer knob, broke this morning. Which, if I'm not doing laundry, I'm dead in the water. Um, yeah, then I go out to my car and I find a puddle on the passenger floorboards based on the drainage from this inches and inches of rain. Your wipers didn't work as of yesterday. I mean, I'm knocking on wood before I ask what's next, but geez, oh man.
Yeah. Well, maybe the only upside is maybe the Pirates' losing streak will come to an end with a rain out tonight since they're playing here. So we can hope.
Yeah, good, happy ending. I didn't even think the Pirates are in town. Jonesy's going to the game. Got a
Is he?
promotion and a box at the Cardinal game tonight. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
good for him, but maybe a rain out. I don't even know who's pitching tonight. I'm so frustrated with that manager. I don't even care.
Oh, I know. And just, that lineup it's just not good. It should have been better. But apparently bullpen issues are all around the league. Nobody's really got a good bullpen.
But they had opportunities and they decided to go with what they had. How many times can you be designated for assignment with another team and then think that this guy's probably going to be great? It's
Yeah.
5 times, 6 times. I mean, it's stupid. You and I could do a better job. And that's saying something because you and I don't know shit.
Not about baseball anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I just mean in general, like, hey, that guy's been assigned 3 times. Maybe not sign him. I think, shelf life over.
Yeah, really. Career minor leaguer.
Yeah, and I hope he enjoys it, and he probably does. Speaking of career minor leaguers and distractions and shit that's worthless, we're back talking about the ballroom today. Um, he's literally, you got hammers, jackhammers, all kinds of noise, and Trump decides it's a good time to go out there with his sign. You can see in this photo, he's on top here of this building. He's giving a spiel. You can see the sign. I will say that sign blew away at one point, but within 5 minutes, they had it back up there for him to continue just babbling on about everything about the ballroom. I mean, it was just too much. He's doing it for us, the American people, not for me, but it's a gift to you, whether we can afford it or not, whether we need it or not. And I will put this up. We already have a ballroom. It's the Andrew W. Mellon Auditorium. I pop it up real quick. It was renovated in 2023. It looks pretty amazing to myself, but what do I know about ballrooms? Yeah. So we don't necessarily need it, but we're getting it anyway because this guy wants it. It will have a military hospital. We'll have research facilities in this bunker and meeting rooms for the military. I have to ask why. Why would you need all that under the ballroom?
Well, here's the thing. And, this might sound a little out there, but with what we've seen over the past year, is anything really too far out there? So buckle up because here goes.
All right, I'm listening.
So he dropped his insane lawsuit against the IRS, where he was both the defendant and the plaintiff,
Yeah.
and settled for roughly $1.8 billion to go into a slush fund overseen by Trump's cronies, given out at Trump's discretion, no oversight. And granted, this is our money. This is taxpayer money.
Yep.
But it's going to go to everybody who's been a victim of weaponization by the government, especially by the Biden administration, because they went after so many people. But it also includes his J6 thugs, his little army. So essentially, the thought is that Trump is trying to basically raise himself a little militia to kind of keep himself in office. Certainly to enrich his cronies. And here's the really scary thing. This is not unprecedented. So in June of, was it 1933 or 1931?
31.
Hitler created a fund like this to
Called the
pay off,
German Trade and Industry. Go ahead.
yeah, German Trade and Industry Fund to pay off his former street fighting thugs, the brown shirts, also known as the SA, to establish the ultra evil SS, the legacy of which still haunts us. He's this pure evil run by Heinrich Himmler, and to enrich Nazi party leaders. So,
Sound familiar?
dusting off an old playbook. And, my thought is that when all this shit turns south, like it may go, because I can't see the American people being on board with this, that he might like a little hidey hole to go to, him and Hegseth and all their cronies, a little Führer bunker, perhaps.
Pretty big one, too, but go ahead.
So that might sound a little bit out there, but honestly, with everything we've seen, would you really say that it's highly, highly implausible or impossible?
Anything seems plausible. I will say that he mentioned that in his world, loyalty outranks the law. So they broke the rules for him. So now he's going to pay them. That was a quote from him during this whole melee of him talking over hammers. They did ask about gas prices. He said it was peanuts. Peanuts.
Yeah, peanuts, right. So, okay, so I think, I want to say 6 of his J6 fans actually murdered their children.
Well, how many were released and then did pedophilia after the fact?
Yeah, so is that loyalty? Is that, well, I murdered because they said something about Trump. I had to kill them. Does that loyalty buy you Trump's undying gratitude? Does that get you out of jail? Because this is just fucking bullshit.
Well, it did get the woman in Denver out of jail. She was basically pardoned by the governor, who's taken a lot of backlash for that.
I can't believe he caved on that. I have no idea why.
Because the government was not funding projects for their development and security of water in Colorado. And he said, if you don't do this, I'm not releasing the funds. As soon as he did it, those funds were released. And that sounds borderline criminal.
You're way over the borderline there. That's called extortion. That's exactly what that is. And that should have been illegal. That should have gone to the courts. But of course, kick it all the way up to the Supreme Court. But at least she would have been in jail the whole time, hopefully, that it took to work its way through, because that just sends a message.
She's going to get a job now in the administration. She will get some kind of election job within this administration to oversee elections because she showed her loyalty. So here you go.
How are we letting this happen?
Well, and interestingly enough, and maybe this is a coincidence, but while he pulled reporters away, and this was not a planned event for him to go out, stand on a building and listen to hammers and jackhammers, etc. But at the same time, the Senate Oversight Committee was grilling Todd Blanche about the Department of Justice that he's now head of currently. And let's pull the attention away from that so I can talk about this ridiculousness. And it went on like that. And I do not think there are coincidences with this guy. I think, and they were getting after Blanche because we don't have a Department of Justice for everybody. And it's
a Department of Trump Justice.
That's right. And anybody that did him harm. So this whole ballroom, I mean, he just started talking. And of course, this went on for like 45 minutes. But it took him 20 minutes just to start talking about anything other than the ballroom, as they kept asking him questions about gas, about the Iran war. Nothing. Flat, steel, drone-proof roof, very complex building. You're not really answering the questions. They brought up oil again. He said, oil's all over the world, even Alaska. Like, we're not worried about it. Well, here's something. Our strategic oil reserve, which we talked about last week, which we're selling to European countries, fell by the largest weekly amount ever. 10 million barrels that they took out of the strategic petroleum reserve. And that left us with 375 million barrels. So I'm not going to give you the percentages, but 10 million leaving you with 375 million. Seems like you're going through it pretty quickly. Slow down with your selling when I'm paying, $4.50 a gallon for gas in the Midwest. Come on.
Yeah, that's really, and I think we mentioned this before, it's very much akin to Stalin selling off Ukrainian wheat back in the 30s during the famine he created, taking all their wheat, selling it to pump up his Soviet economy and letting people starve, and millions of people starve. It's not the same exactly, but it's pretty much along the same lines.
Well, and these are, again, distractions. 35-minute mark, color schemes, 40-minute mark. They ask about Iran questions, the gas prices, the stock market. And he says, everybody can put up with this for a while. Okay.
Yeah, no, a lot of people can't put up for much longer and probably couldn't put up with it in the first place. I mean, how many people have had to choose between filling their tank or, buying groceries?
Or less groceries, or less meat, or, mom's medication, fill in the blank. People are feeling it. There's no hiding this. This whole war thing seems like he's just manipulating markets again. Him and his cronies are making so much cash off it. Again, we're having this big bombing. We're just going to blast them to Timbuktu. And then the Gulf states were begging me to keep negotiating. Iran's desperate for a deal. These are serious negotiations. Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, they all want me to do this. So I'm going to hold off for now. But we may need to give him another big hit. And if you ask Lindsey Graham, he's all about murdering people and being a end of timer weirdo.
Lindsey Graham must hate himself so much to be such a disgusting person. I mean, what level of self-hatred possesses somebody who just denies who he is when the whole world can see it and is just turned so vicious and so cruel and so bloodthirsty, and he's right up Trump's ass.
I think alcohol has an issue in this too, where it kind of rots the brain. He is not a rational person. I think he's a habitual, drinker, and that's where he gets to his happy place. But when he does that, he becomes angry, spiteful, and harmful. Apparently, if he's got the president's ear, it's just none of it's positive for us.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget, prior to Trump's election, he was anti-Trump.
Until he wasn't.
Very much so, until apparently maybe somebody presented him with a file of things that Lady Lindsay may have or may not have done. I don't know. Who am I to say? Allegedly, but he certainly fell right into line and really jumped right in. So I would guess
he's not alone.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely not alone. There was a long line, but
I mean, little Rubio, little Marco, same thing.
Still walking around in those big clown shoes.
Because he thinks he's going to be next. He thinks he can beat out J.D. Vance, who's probably the most unpopular person anybody's ever met.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's been handling the press conferences with KK Caroline having given birth, and they can't wait for her to come back because she's the best liar they have. But he's terrible. He can't relate. The stuff in his responses is just not topical to what people are actually asking, and it seems like he really doesn't know what's going on. I did want to add that on the South Lawn, that they want to put in a helipad. They want to tear up all the grass, put down a concrete helipad. Back to the days of Ike, these guys would get off Marine, want to be able to get over to the White House. But this guy and his wide gait and demented head apparently needs concrete everywhere. Can't walk on the grass. It's not safe. Maybe he's just not safe.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just have your little golf cart parked out there. You're really comfortable riding out on a golf cart. You can drive from the White House to the helicopter.
Let's just keep him down in Florida. Maybe that. And then
even better.
Telling him what he wants to hear without allowing him to do anything would be really nice. I wanted to give an update on the Trump phone. NBC, I guess, got one of the phones came in. Did arrive. It's not necessarily on time. I thought the whole basis was that it was made in the U.S. It was going to be super terrific and cheap and blah, blah, blah. But turns out that it is made in Taiwan, not the U.S., but it was designed with American values, because that's really where it's at.
American values built by underpaid laborers in
Taiwan.
a foreign land. Yeah.
For sure. It does resemble the HTCU 24, which is made in Taiwan. It has an American flag on the back, but it only has
Whoa.
11 stripes instead of 13. 13 was in relation to the colonies, so they fucked that up. It was described as overpriced, outdated, preloaded with propaganda. It had a bunch of Truth Social and a bunch of apps that you would want. Yeah, so it made a lot of money for Eric and Donnie Jr. I mean, that's really the gist of the grift, right?
Man.
It's insane. And to have these apps on there and nothing else, and the phone's actually dated already. You know how fast phones go out of date. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But Trump's name is on the handset in 4 different places. So I guess that's really what we're after.
That's right. Put that name everywhere and wave that phone around proudly. Actually, you're probably waving it around trying to get a signal because it's so outdated. But hey, you do you, Mega.
Just not serious people. They did talk about the Ebola breakout. Keep in mind that we are no longer part of the World Health Organization because we don't need any of that stuff.
We don't need that.
I mean, who needs that? Not us.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal around the world, and we do have an American that did have it. Trump said he's very concerned about it. He would let RFK Jr. or Dr. Oz speak about it if you want. They didn't really have a whole lot to say, but we did have an American tested positive for the strain of Ebola. I can't really pronounce the strain that it is, but it is 500 people, 500 suspected cases, 130 deaths reported in an outbreak of the Bundibugyo strain, which is what the American guy tested positive for. He has been sent to Germany. But, you know, it's here. If it's there, it's here, it's everywhere, and deal with it. But the problem is the Doge came in, Elon, who really qualified in health and human services, I guess. But he cut funding for Ebola. And then in March of 2025, RFK completely shut it down. So no funding, now no scientists or offices to dig into this. But it's not here. Remember COVID?
Yeah, and in April, it'll just go away. It'll be gone.
Go away.
Yeah, maybe we should dip into that Trump slush fund and get this going again, because I don't know if you remember, there was a book called The Hot Zone.
Yeah.
And I first read it when I was visiting you guys down in Texas, and that book scared the shit out of me. It was about the original Ebola breakout. It's terrifying. This thing is, dude, just bleeding. Your body, you're just bleeding out your nose, your eyes, your ears. It's horrible. Yeah. And it's back, baby.
Well, the way you talk about it, it's probably best not to know any of this stuff. It sounds too scary. The person in charge of public health is Brian Christine.
Christine, yeah.
Yeah. His claim to fame is he's a penile implant specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're bleeding out of your parts, maybe he could help you with that. Otherwise, he doesn't seem qualified to do anything. The WHO, the World Health Organization, is considering use of experimental vaccines as death rates are rising. That shows you a bit of desperation. But here we're like, it's not really here. That if I don't say it's here, I guess. I don't know.
And vaccines are bad. Blame Fauci.
Oh my God, yeah. That's a great. I mean, I don't know. The distractions are what get me, because this is like a serious thing. This is something we should be dealing with, and instead we're gonna not only mess with that and research, but we're going to continue destroying the environment.
We're doubling down on that.
It goes hand in hand. Lee Zeldin is a guy who's scrapping limits. We talked about the forever chemicals in our drinking water. They do cause cancer, kidney cancer, testicular cancer, liver damage, immune system issues, fertility. There are probably 12 to 15 other things that I didn't want to list, but we're not dealing with it. We're not taking it out of our water, and we continue to ingest all this stuff that they don't seem to care about. One thought was that maybe allowing it and then taking away, the data centers are going to be taking all this water too. And then when it poisons us, you won't be able to sue them because it's not against the law to have those things in your water. So if it poisons you, kind of the luck of the draw. Immune system issues, cancer, developmental delay in children. It's like we don't care about anybody outside of the top guy. It's crazy.
Yeah, outside of Trump and all the other white Christian nationalist billionaires. Those are the only people that matter. And again, these people have been really good at playing the long game. I mean, you look at the Heritage Foundation, and they've had this agenda in mind for quite some time, and they've been, starting with the Reagan era, they've been quietly laying down the foundation for this, and now this shit has, it's become firmly implemented. I also saw where they're going to allow, I think, is it nuclear power plants or maybe coal-fired plants to divert their waste into drinking water now?
Why not? Yeah,
because we don't need that. We've got plenty of drinking water. It's fine.
I'm sure it's coal-fired power plants, just because we love coal. We
love coal. We're big on coal.
Ever.
Clean. It's the cleanest coal ever.
And then it goes to our food system as well. Trump authorized the continued use of cancer-causing pesticide atrazine, which is banned in more than 60 countries, but not here. I mean, it just goes on. Trump waived 29 separate environmental and conservation laws to build a 1.7 border wall through Big Bend National Park.
This is just fucking bullshit.
Keep in mind, this is 25 miles from the border. What is the point? I just don't understand.
And I believe it's going through some sacred Native American burial grounds too.
And who would care, right? I mean, they're like immigrants practically.
Well, I don't know, man. If, maybe Trump never saw Poltergeist, but you can get into some deep shit if you disturb an ancient Indian burial ground. So,
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He continues by lifting a ban on cyanide bombs on public land. He's Bureau of Land Management, which is all of our land to go out and camp or take in the sites, whatever, maybe do some bird watching, who knows. But they brought back the M44s, which is a cyanide bomb that ejects out of traps, deadly sodium cyanide when triggered in these traps, and it gives you, poisons you with extreme and prolonged suffering. They were showing coyotes and wolves. If these are on BLMs, it could be anybody. It could be a small child. It could be a senior. It could be anybody. But they just don't care. And there's a reason why they were banned, because they were not only killing animals on public lands, but also children were getting involved, and pets, and fill in the blank. It's super short-sighted. It's toxic to all of us, but nobody seems to really have pushback for us as the people that are supposed to be in charge of this country.
Yeah, and what's the point even? Why? I don't understand. Why is it so important to kill these animals?
I think if you clear out this land Bureau of Land Management and our national parks, that you can sell them off.
Oh, okay.
More desirable.
That certainly makes sense. That lines right up with everything else we've been seeing.
Let's make some money. All right.
Yeah, because we haven't made enough. We got to have more. Bigger.
And then you look at these companies. Meta is laying off 8,000 workers. Their 12-month net income was $70.5 billion last year. They're laying off 8,000 workers. They have a total of 79,000 workers. They could give every single worker a $440,000 bonus and still be able to pocket $36 billion. I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but instead you're firing people. You're not giving them $10,000. Nobody's asking for $440,000, but I'm just trying to give the data that they have an exorbitant amount of money and they're still firing people. Accenture Healthcare laying off 11,000 workers. And this is part of their $865 million AI driven what are they doing? They're Well, they're changing their game plan, their business plan now with AI, and it's their new strategy. So we're going to fire people, and then we're going to put $865 million into our new plan. So
And
great.
you know, I could see where AI it would be a helpful tool,
For sure.
but to go all in and start firing actual healthcare practitioners, people with experience, people with emotions, people who, sometimes a lot of medicine is just critical thinking and instinct. Okay, well, you know what? I've seen this before, and here's what I think. Because, I'm an experienced healthcare practitioner, and this just doesn't look right. So I'm going to dig a little deeper, as opposed to AI just glassing over and saying, well, it's fine. It's
Doesn't
not a tumor.
doesn't affect me.
Yeah. So I think it's a giant mistake again, but we've become the land of giant mistakes that seem to mostly favor the wealthy and the corporations, and we're living under their thumb.
The word I was looking for was restructuring. So this is
Mhm.
how Accenture is going to restructure, just by firing more people and investing more money. And since we do cater to these billionaires, they're putting in a ton of cash. Now, this money was made mostly off the backs of Americans for the most part. They're cutthroat. We see that with Meta. We see that with Amazon, et cetera. But since they're putting all this monopoly money in, they need some kind of return. They're all that matters. Without them, we don't really exist because they're so amazing and they have so much money that they have yachts that follow yachts around. I mean, it's crazy.
And they are so great.
So this is to insulate them and to make sure they find success, hell or high water, poison the rest of us, whatever it takes, because it's about them. It's not about us. And that's where people have to kind of figure this out, that we're on our own. We've talked about this before. We'll see what happens with the Massey vote tonight. That Trump was hell bent against a guy who's speaking the truth because he's a Republican. He's going to do his best to offset and get this guy booted out. We'll see. Because what we're finding out is in all these special elections, the Republicans are getting smoked. People are sick of this. People aren't going to vote just because you gerrymandered my district doesn't mean I'm going to vote for policies that harm myself. And at least that's my one great hope, is that people won't vote against their best interests. Have they done that in the past? Yes. But have we ever been on a scale like this before, ever?
I don't know. That's a really good question. And I kind of wonder. And, I'm also kind of a little nervous because, you saw how it went in Indiana when all the Trump back candidates won, or Ohio when all these yokels came out and still voted for these assholes because their dear leader said so. I mean, I can't imagine that there were a bunch of wealthy business people coming out and voting. I'm sure there are a lot of just average people, maybe people that weren't making a lot of money. Have that many people drank this fucking Kool-Aid that this is who they're voting? Well, that's the Trump approved candidate. I can't vote for the guy that makes sense or calls out Trump. I don't care about gas prices. I don't care about feeding my family. I don't give a shit about my job security. That's the part I don't get.
Well, and I agree. I do think that has to be less and less. In Louisiana, the governor came out and 800,000 people came out against him. He'll probably get a job somewhere in the Trump cabinet, maybe, or in his administration or regime somewhere. But the point is, for a sleepy little election season, 800,000 people came out pissed.
Which was awesome.
I'm curious about Kentucky. The downside is that we don't get the media coverage that it used to, as far as like showing any of this. If it doesn't reflect well on Trump, maybe the Washington Post isn't going to put it on the front page. If it doesn't look good, maybe CNN, even though they're terrible and he hates them, right? Maybe they show a little bit less. I mean, they also cut away from Blanche's news, testimony to show Trump on top of a building with the sign blowing away.
Yeah. Old man
amazing.
Yelling on top of a building.
And I will remind you how we got to this point. We're still not believing that 7 swing states just barely under recount level went to Trump. I know he likes to brag about it. Once he starts bragging about it, then you know that there's something behind this smoke, because they're grifters, cheaters, liars, and stealers. But Elon's baby mama came out, one of them. And she said that he talked about rigging the election. He talked about using his space technology and his satellites to steal the election. All sounds out there, but is it?
I don't think it is. I think it's pretty plausible, actually,
I do too. I do too.
especially with
Sadly,
running off at the mouth. Oh, that Elon, he knows all the computers. Don't worry, you'll never have to vote again.
they said I wouldn't win in Pennsylvania, and boy, did Elon make that happen. I mean, like, Elon's
Hmm.
kid even said it was rigged, and he was like 4 at the time.
Yeah.
It's
I
insane.
mean, and Trump was drowning in flop sweat up until Elon got involved.
Yeah, he was a mess, boring. And the sad part is, with the stolen election, now we get to listen to him talk about all that shit that nobody cared about. I won the election in 2020. I mean, Blanche is still out there digging. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Oh, wait till you see the information that comes out about how they tried to rig the election against Trump in 2020. I mean, my God, they just couldn't rig it enough to get Trump in because people were so disappointed with how he did the COVID response and
Hmm.
how he enriched himself. But then he gets back in that seat through one means or another. And boy, you didn't think he could top the amount of money that he profited from the first administration. Now look at it. It's like
I know.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
So they better keep moving. He better keep his people around him. But I do feel like the American public is feeling it. I think they're feeling it every day. I think their cortisol levels are up daily because you don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're going to have a job. I saw this guy on TikTok. He's been in IT for 25 years. He goes into work. They're restructuring. They don't need him anymore. He's 55 or 56 years old. He's in between 55 and 60, and he's not ready to retire. What do you do? What are all these people going to do that have been with the same company for 20 some years? You've been in the same field, and now you've been cut loose, and none of us can really retire. I mean, first of all, Social Security, they want to push it to age 70.
Yeah.
And, the body starts breaking down around that time. So why do you get to work 45 years of your life just to not get to enjoy any of it? I mean, where's the plus in this?
There's not, but again, we're just, replaceable cogs in a giant wheel for the wealthy. They don't give a shit about us. And, I don't know what the exact percentages are, but a lot of our generation are not in a position to retire. And
Oh,
we're rapidly, heading towards that age. And it's horrifying, especially the ones that are still taking care of their aging parents, maybe still have kids in college or kids that they're trying to help support because, they're having trouble finding work, paying off student debt. I mean, it's a vicious cycle.
yeah, so you have to keep working, even though that's not covering your expenses, as we keep showing. Inflation's not helping that, though. It's temporary pain. I don't see the temporary pain at the top is my issue. He doesn't seem to care. Gas
He doesn't
prices
care.
are peanuts. Suck it up, buttercup type of mentality is
Hmm.
not really solving any problems, and it's really, as she said, our democracy's on the downslope. And Trump said, no, that was just under Biden. No.
And it took Trump how many days to figure out what she really meant by that remark when he originally said it? He had
72
no
hours.
idea, and I forget the term for it. It was oh, I forget the term, but it essentially meant one country rising, the other country declining, and they inevitably clash. That's what it meant. Trump had no idea what that meant until someone explained it to him days later, and then he turned around and blamed it on Biden, with
Well,
which she said nothing about Biden.
no, of course not. And to your point, he took him into this garden of trees and he showed Trump this 300-year-old tree. And his point was that this tree's been around longer than your democracy, and it's still here and it's flourishing. And of course, Trump's response was to ask the interpreter if if he ever brings anybody else back here to this special little garden. Anybody else? Am I the only one?
And they gave Trump the tiny chair that he sank down into.
Oh my gosh, he was set up all over town. They had him in front of the Chinese flag, like pumping his fist with him and I think Rubio and one other. I think the guy from Nvidia. Just, I mean, listen, he does not have the best people around him. He's far from a decent person, and anybody with a brain can manipulate and make these people look like fools. Does he care? No, because he's a billionaire. He's running the country. He's in the seat, whatever. But it's really a bad look. It's kind of embarrassing as a nation. We're coming up on 250 years. I know a lot of people of our generation were around in 1976, which was our bicentennial. I don't know how much you remember about it and how much flag waving you were doing at the time.
I remember, I think being, for whatever reason, I think I was at Billy Fairgreaves' house and they had like
You were
a little
11.
cookout. And I remember seeing like the tall ships. And, it was great. You got excited. I don't know if we were running around waving flags, but you were excited to see fireworks and.
Exactly. There was some kind of pride there, I guess, is what my point was. It
Mhm.
wasn't rah, 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 America's amazing, whatever. It was, I have pride in this country. Look at this nation that we built. We were a big part of the middle class. Our neighborhood was middle class. You had people
Yeah.
from all areas, a lot of Polish people. You had Muslims, Jews, Christians, not that many of the Jews, but my point being, it was a mixed. We all lived in neighborhoods. Everybody went to work. There was support within that system. So you felt some pride. Uh, all I hear now about this stupid thing is about Trump. And it's really not focusing on our nation at all. It's focusing
No.
on him. It's focusing on the extremes. It's, the 1/10 of 1%. It's like their day. Well, their day's every day.
Yeah,
Like your dad said,
exactly.
when's Kids' Day? Kids' Day's every day.
Every day. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to really feel any kind of enthusiasm for it. I don't care. It's a day off.
We're barely hanging on by the skin of our teeth at this point. Like I'm feeling it nonstop. It's like, this is crazy.
I mean, let's see
What's
where we even
tomorrow
are as
gonna
a
bring?
nation by July 4th.
Yeah. Why are we focusing on this clown? Why are we having a UFC fight, which now is only for a select bunch of people? I'm sure you had to pay a healthy amount to get a ticket to it. But again, not serious people. Nobody that should be running a country. You want to run your country club like that, Mar-a-Lago? Fine.
Have at it.
But don't do it to our nation. You're killing us as a democracy. It's just, this is not what democracy looks like, is all I'm saying.
This is far from what democracy looks like. And this is called democracy on life support. And Trump's got his hand on the cord ready to yank it completely.
Yeah. And with glee. Okay. Big fan. Big fan of putting us through this. And it's not sustainable. We're on a downward spiral. Until we can all agree on that, we're going to have an issue moving forward because this is just out of control. Every day is something else. It's just too much.
Yeah, well, I think at some point, probably hopefully some point soon, we will be all able to agree on that because it's getting closer and closer, and a lot of people are feeling this.
Well, make sure you're on the voting rolls to be able to vote in your community. They are changing some of the polling stations. That's just one more gimmick as to getting you to be frustrated and not vote. But it matters. It matters now more than ever. And we're seeing that in the states that are already doing special elections, the ones that are running primaries. Trump ran against that. His guy ran against the gentleman who lost in the primary. Was that in Louisiana? Anyway, Trump's guy won, but in the concession, the guy said, hey, when you lose, you congratulate your opponent. You don't blame cheating. You don't say anything was stolen. And I think his followers understood who he was taking a jab at.
Yeah, and I think that was Bill Cassidy in Louisiana. I think you're right. And Jeff
And why would
Pearlman.
you want him? He's a physician. He's a smart scientific mind. Get him out of here.
Well, yeah, and again, don't forget he's the guy that voted to confirm RFK Jr., so he's not perfect, but he was better than most, that's for sure. And Jeff Pearlman the other day gave what he felt, a good concession speech would have been, and it was eloquent, and it made sense, and it was patriotic, and it was very well said. Of course, that's not what this gentleman said, but, good on Jeff Pearlman for putting it out there.
Sure.
But hopefully people were paying attention to what he was saying and reading between the lines because it's important. And once your vote doesn't count anymore, there is no democracy.
Yeah, you're right.
And we're pretty dangerously close to that right now.
We are. There's no doubt about it. And it's, every minute of every day counts. So pay attention. And, the bottom line is we have to create this change ourselves. And
call your representatives. Let them know how you feel.
Yeah. And I think a great place to start, not that we haven't had 1,000 great places to start, but at least with Holly, this 1.8 million for the J6 people, this slush fund is ridiculous. I can't imagine that any fiscal conservative would be on board with this. He's coming out and saying the quiet part out loud. He's not hiding anything. These people were loyal to me. They're my people.
Yeah, and yet you're so law and order and back the blue, yet they destroyed the lives of your Capitol Police.
And none of those people got compensation.
No, they didn't get shit. They got to see their attackers walk free.
Yep.
And get paid. I mean, how disgusting is that?
Yeah, it's all terrible, and it needs to be fixed, and we need to, get back to the morality that we once had. And I'm not standing on a soapbox and saying what a great country this is, but we've never seen fraud and abuse like this before, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the one guy, I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about Watergate, and they were like, "Were you that engaged?" The kid was like 8, and he's like, "Well, I had to be. In my house, my dad would spend 2 hours a night screaming at the television because it was so corrupt, and they weren't going to put up with it. And eventually, the truth came out, and people didn't do time. Well, some did.
Some did, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nixon didn't.
Nixon didn't, and it was a big mistake looking back on him. He should have done some time.
For sure. That just wasn't a thing they would allow. But my point being, we're not the first. We won't be the last. Tend to your own backyard, and let's get this thing going in a positive direction, because otherwise we're scorching the earth, our environment. We're not taking care of the farmers, whether they vote for Trump or not. The fertilizer isn't there. It's a problem for all of us. We all breathe the same air. We all drink this water. Let's be smart about it. I mean, Schlitz beer was discontinued after 177 years. No more Schlitz beer. Okay. And maybe some people think that's a good thing, but I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah. There's an interesting article not too long ago, and I think I might have sent it to you about the downfall of Schlitz.
I don't know that you did.
Oh yeah. It was fascinating. They were the #1 beer. And they got caught up. Some genius decided to change the formula a little bit, and the beer looked cloudy. It poured out cloudy looking, and then they got caught. They were basically bribing institutions, stadiums, ballparks, to bars, clubs to buy the beer, to do these shady deals. And it all came out, and now Schlitz is gone.
Well, it took 177 years to get rid of it.
Oh, they fell off the radar long before that. Because they were neck and neck with Budweiser. Schlitz and Budweiser were neck and neck, and Schlitz was winning. Schlitz was on top. But yeah, they fucked that up. I got to find that article and send it to you. It's fascinating.
Yeah, you should. I mean, nobody ever raves about how amazing Schlitz beer is, but I'm not a big fan of AB either. So maybe I just don't know what's good.
Or maybe you do.
Or maybe I do. I know what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think after all that, probably time for a happy ending. If you have something for me.
Ooh. Well, like we said at the beginning, the Pirates
hope for rain.
Looks like they're going to get rained out tonight. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But if they do, they won't have a loss tonight. Their losing streak won't continue until maybe tomorrow. But
yeah, well, that is fairly positive. I'll go with Steeler OTA started. Aaron Rodgers, like him or not, was in the building before 7 a.m. I don't think OTA started till 9. He passed his physical pretty quickly, and he was ingratiating himself to his new teammates. The wide receiver from Michigan, what was his name?
Roman Wilson.
Yeah, he changed his number to 10, and now the quarterback's throwing balls to him. So maybe he's smarter than we think.
Maybe. We'll see. He needs to learn how to run routes, apparently. And
he's in trouble because that second-round pick, kid from Alabama, Jermaine, they're loving.
Oh, that kid's the real deal. I think he was a steal. I think Philly did them a favor by taking the kid from USC. The Steelers got the tackle they wanted, they needed. And you got this kid who seems like a real gem.
Well, he's already been through the playbook after rookie minicamp, and they want to give him more because he's just ahead of the curve. He's a football player. Reminds me a lot of Hines Ward. He can do it all. He's tough. He's a good blocker. He doesn't drop passes. And,
doesn't drop one pass in college.
And I will say this in closing. I love Mike Tomlin. Huge Mike Tomlin fan. But I was talking to another insane Steeler fan last night at our skate. You have to be excited about getting new coordinators on both sides of the ball. Offensive coordinator McCarthy, like him or not, proven system. Defensively, you can't be worse than what Austin was bringing to the table. So it can't be anything but positive. They have talent, and now let's see what real coordinators can do. Again, not a swipe at Mike Tomlin, but it would have been nice if he would have brought in coordinators that were competent.
Yeah. I mean, his record of offensive coordinators, the past two were just terrible, completely incompetent.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe Matt Canada's coaching high school football somewhere.
Maybe.
Or midget ball. I don't know, but
the other guy's in college. Artie Smith's down at Ohio State. The Ohio State.
Yeah, he's been busted down to the college level. So we'll see. But I think it's going to be interesting. It's just nice to see. And neither one of us were thrilled about the Mike McCarthy hiring. But here is a guy who's got a track record of working with quarterbacks. He's an offensive-minded coach, which the Steelers haven't had since the '60s.
Yeah, he's won a Super
Noel
Bowl.
Cowher, Tomlin, all great coaches, but all defensive-minded guys. So this is something a little different, and I think they really needed that because they have not been able to find that franchise quarterback. And you've got two young guys now, Will Howard and the kid from Penn State, who maybe one of these guys can pan out. They'll get some development. I mean, Jesus, how many of the last couple quarterbacks that the Steelers have signed have you seen, young guys that either didn't get any snaps in camp or just got completely ignored?
Yeah, true, because they didn't know what they were doing. But again, I am a Mike Tomlin fan. And the positive to this is that with the Pirates' wheels falling off, at least you got some Steelers stuff.
Yeah, so, you're hoping to maybe get to...
Also, I got my new shirts.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome.
It's a little bigger than I would have liked, but as far as the print, but how could Ollie be too big anyway?
That's a good-looking shirt.
Thanks. Anyway, that's really all I got. It was a lot from the ballroom to the environment to Ebola. But,
well, they're flooding the zone on the daily, so we're just trying to keep up with it and get some of this shit out there because this is horrific.
Well, I appreciate your time as always and sifting through this. It's not easy. I will let you go, and maybe I'll see you later. I'm hoping.
All right, sounds good.
All right, buddy. You have a good day. Thanks again. I appreciate your time.
You too. Good job.
All right, thanks. See ya.